Let's talk about the Raheem Mostert trade request before we get heavily involved into the Scott Fish Bowl. Mostert,
personally, I see that working out well for him. Just personally, I think it's going to go well.
You think there's a big market for running backs right now?
Big market. I think the 49ers are obviously an organization that really value that position, really want to. So I think worst case scenario, he gets traded to a contender. Best case scenario, they give him, a nice little pay raise, and they totally respect the decision making. I think it'll work out.
He wants to make as much as Tevin Coleman, which honestly seems like a pretty reasonable request. But the thing is,
it is a fully rational request.
He just signed the deal last year, so it's like you signed it, bro. Like I get it. There's special teams involved there, but anyways, Ben, what's your take on this?
I mean, his base salary is $2.9 million, right? Like,
it's not bad.
There was this comment that he signed a special teams contract, but like, it's not great. But I mean, for running backs, an older running back who had I think like 40 career touches before last season, it's kind of hard to like that. I think is about what
42 Ben.
Yeah, and isn't that about what Damian Williams?
who led the league in yards per carry last year?
Yeah, no passing game work, which is obviously what anyone in analytics Twitter recognizes as more important to running back value. But isn't that close to what Damian Williams signed his extension with the Chiefs after he kind of came out of obscurity and had a good end of 2018? I mean, I think his extension was like 2 years and he was getting $2 to $3 million a year. I mean, Mostert's a very similar late blossomer type guy. I don't know why he wants. I feel like it's a fair contract.
Yeah,
I mean,
it sounds
he just
reasonable,
wants to be
but
paid like the starter.
Yeah, I also don't blame him, or don't blame any running back for trying to get as much money as possible when you're actually relevant, because it's tough until then. Peter, you have something you want to say right now?
No. I mean, I always have something I want to say. Unlike Davis, though, I'm a little more willing to kind of be patient and pick my spots. He needs to read the room, though, a little bit, right? I mean, if any organization has shown a willingness to devalue running backs, cycle through whoever, it's the 49ers. Like, Shanahan does not care. He'll burn a draft pick on, Joe Williams or whatever, and just move right on. Like, I think he needs to have a hard look in the mirror and realize that the 49ers aren't going to cave to his demands.
Okay, so if you're having a guess right now, let's say you're in a best ball draft or doing a Scott Fish Bowl draft, where would you value Mostert as things are not resolved right now, Davis?
I mean, the same place I've always had him, like 7th, 8th round, and he's been like, he has been.
You might actually get him there now.
You could take him now. Very similar to his teammate Dante Pettis last year. Just one of the most overdrafted guys in all of fantasy football for a big chunk of the offseason.
Okay, let's say he fell to the 7th or 8th, though. I mean, are you just saying that to kind of hedge, or would you actually take him there?
I don't think I'd actually take him. But here's the thing, though. You can say like this is sort of what makes sense or what people will do, but then be like, I'm actually not taking Raheem Mostert until like the 10th round, personally.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Davis, I'm hearing you say that you're maybe in best balls you would draft him at the 8th round, but not.
No, guys like that are worse in best balls because Mostert will be a guy you can cut once it becomes clear that like Jerick McKinnon is ahead of him in the pecking order. He's worse in that format.
All right, Peter, where would you draft him at?
Yeah, well, to Ben's point, the whole reason Mostert is a bad pick before all of this is because he's going in that dead zone where you are paying for him to hit his ceiling at that cost. And then the whole point is there's all these risks like this, injuries, trade talks, guys usurping him. But if he drops and he's in the 7th, 8th round of regular leagues, then he's a premium zero running back target for you because then the fragility is working in your favor and there's no opportunity cost of the wide receivers you're passing over there. I hate it when I black out and make sense.
That was a legit take. I think everyone appreciates that. So here's the thing. In the Scott Fish Bowl draft, he still has not been drafted in my league, and we're 906. Or 907. I've got the 908. I've got the next pick. I've only drafted one running back so far. It would be, according to Josh ADHD's Scott Fishbowl tool, it would be the latest he has been picked thus far. 110 teams have selected him. Hayden Wink's currently the last person with the 901. So if I draft him, if you do draft him, Ben, what are your thoughts on the proverbial handcuff?
Yeah, I kind of disagree with, I think it was Davis's take that he's worse in best ball, because this is a team, I feel like trying to figure out when to put him in your lineup is going to be tough. I mean, he's
going to be terrible.
He ran for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns in the NFC Championship, and then they started Tevin Coleman in the Super Bowl. Like, they didn't bring him into like the third drive. Mostert, I think he got his first carry on their third drive in the Super Bowl after running for 4 touchdowns in the NFC Championship. I mean, that's wild. I think this is a format, the Scott Fishbowl with the first downs, that obviously leans towards him, where he's more of an efficient runner. You're hoping that efficiency sticks, and he's probably not going to catch a ton of passes. So I think it can make some sense, but you're probably going to have some games where Tevin Coleman just gets used more. Like, I think it's going to be a committee and a tough one week by week.
Can we, I know this show is supposed to be a gathering of positivity, but can we roast some of the people who drafted?
Like third round Raheem Mostert, please. Please.
King Showtime 44 took him at 304. B111 Edwards took him at 305. Dear Johnny Football took him at 307. Rest in peace, guys. You guys are now in the in-between with Jack Miller.